DRAM was the first ETF to hit $10 billion in just 10 days. This thing rocketed, and now Roundhill has another ETF that they are releasing hopefully within the next couple of months. It's ticker LYTE or LYTE, and it's a similar theme to DRAM, but a little bit different. And in this video, I'm going to break down everything you need to know about LYTE that we know so far. More information will come, but if you guys are interested in ETFs, my name is Spencer. I talk all about them, and I absolutely love investing in the stock market. So if you want to grow your portfolio, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hype it if you really do find it enjoyable. So let's break down potentially the next blockbuster ETF by Roundhill. I want to reiterate, this fund is not yet out. So what Roundhill did, they saw the success with DRAM, their memory ETF, and now they're trying to capitalize on the next bottleneck within the AI sector, which is photonics. And that is what LYTE is going to target. Now, what's interesting is this has been filed with the SEC. So they have the ETF ready, but the Security Exchange Commission has to allow it, basically. They're going to review it and make sure that it meets all the legal requirements and so on. And most of these ETFs that I follow, once they get into this portion of the prospectus, they do make it all the way through. There are some that get blocked. So we may never even see this ETF unless the SEC does grant access for Roundhill. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at the prospectus itself. It's going to be a little bit boring, so let me show you the key points that you'll need to know when it comes to LYTE, how this differs from DRAM, and if it's something that you should buy. I'm just going to use my notes. We could read through the entire prospectus, but genuinely, it's very, very boring. And I have the key information starting off. So this was filed for on May 20th of 2026. It's going to have a 75-day waiting period. So we should see it come out within the next 2 months if it is approved by the SEC. And if you've never looked at one of these, I recommend checking it out. Here we can see the 75 days. There's a ton of information in here, but it's a lot. It takes a lot to read them. And of course, it's not complete. So these things could change. Another downside is we won't know the exact holdings. We can estimate, but we aren't going to know truly the percentage of the holdings or what they're even putting within this ETF. Maybe they'll do something like DRAM and use companies that aren't within the US exchanges and give us more exposure to different countries and whatnot, which would be very, very interesting. I am not an expert on photonics and optics, and that is what this fund is. It is the Roundhill Photonics and Optics ETF, different from DRAM. So DRAM is memory chips, right? And so they're all semiconductor memory products, DRAM, NAND, SSDs, and so on. SSDs are so expensive. I just put a new one in my computer, $505 for a 2 terabyte, which is absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. But all these videos take up a lot of space. LYTE is going to do the photonics and optic technology. So let me break this down because it is different. It is different. It's going to invest in companies whose core technology involves generating, manipulating, detecting, or transmitting light for applications primarily like AI data centers. Of course, we're in the AI revolution right now, but also defense, medical imaging, industrial manufacturing, and quantum computing, which QTUM by defiance is another one of my absolute favorite growth ETFs. So they're going to be focusing on companies that have 50% revenue from these areas, including optical transceivers and modules, laser sources, silicon photonics, integrated circuits. Holy smokes. This is a very tech-heavy ETF. Optical interconnected systems, fiber optic cable, and optical computing photonic AI acceleration. And if you're a giant nerd like me, some of that will make sense. Not all of it, let's be honest. But I understand what they're trying to target. It's kind of like the second version of DRAM, a different sector, but the next sector that will be the AI bottleneck. And so when I say, should you buy this ETF, it's going to come down to your risk within the market and what you think of AI and how far you think it's going and what you think these ETFs will do. Now, I'm not going to say that I'll buy this or won't buy it because I don't know the holdings yet. But if it's anything like DRAM, I most certainly will be buying it because DRAM's performance has been amazing. But there is a really big downside. Let's take a look. This is a chart showing the price performance of DRAM since launch. So it launched in April of 2026 at $27.76 per share. It then climbed all the way up to almost $70 per share, a 151% increase, and over the last 2 days has dropped 50%. 50%. Now, I'm in a number of like stock trading groups and whatnot, mostly just to see what people are talking about, and it's really fun. People are freaking out because they were dumping all their money into DRAM on all of these dips. It sold off a little bit, they bought a ton more, and then it sold off substantially more on Friday. And I don't really know what to say, guys. We did see a crazy pullback in the market on Friday. I was down almost 5.5%. It was the largest 1 day loss in my portfolio that I have ever had, simply because I'm putting more and more money in, of course. But it sucks. It sucks when the markets pull back, but these are opportunities. Now, I'm not saying to buy DRAM or buy any ETFs right now. I am always watching specific ETFs to buy on dips, and this is a dip. So there are opportunities in the market, of course, but you have to pace yourself and you have to be careful so you're not left holding a bag when the AI chip, when AI in general slows, and when memory slows and we kind of cycle out of memory, it's not the bottleneck anymore, we could see some substantial pullbacks. And I've done videos on DRAM all the time. So you have SK Hynix, you have Samsung, you have Micron, you have Kioxia, you have a couple other smaller companies in here, but really it's like 5 companies make up the most of this ETF. And so when those companies have a bad day, they drop pretty substantially. I don't know how many holdings will be in LYTE, but I imagine the chart will be extremely volatile like we have seen with DRAM, because everyone is shifting into the next sector of the AI bottleneck, trying to catch it before it actually happens, which is a lot easier said than done. So I always want to say, be careful how you invest. Be very, very careful. If you want to know more about what I'm discussing when it comes to growth ETFs, I do have a private circle community. It's not for everybody. It's mostly for very serious investors. If you're not a serious investor, that's okay. So I'll link that down below for those that are interested. There is a free trial going on currently. So now let's talk about the holdings of LYTE and a little bit more about how it differs from DRAM and if it's an ETF that is built for you. Now, I'm going to reiterate a very important point. I don't know what companies are going to go into LYTE, into LYTE. They could pick all of these. They could pick none of these. These are the names that make the most sense. These are the US-based companies. They could go with a lot of Japanese, Korean, Chinese companies, like we did see some of within DRAM. Now, another important fact is DRAM is a little bit more focused in. With photonics, you have kind of different sectors, right? So we could do like COHR or Lumentum, which is LYTE. And these ones are focused in on the optical transceivers and modules, communications between all these different components of AI and the AI data centers. Then you have silicon photonics, which would be like Marvell Technology and Broadcom. You also have fiber optic infrastructure, which is GLW. You can have, again, there are big Chinese names that we haven't included, AceLink, HG Genuine. And then you have defense and industrials with IPGP, that's IPG Photonics. And then you also have photodetectors and imaging, which is a couple other these like I think laser and whatnot. So there are a lot of big names grouped in here, but we don't know what's going to go in. Another important factor, they may pick 3 of these and build most of the entire ETF off of them, like we saw with DRAM. Because what are the 3 biggest holdings? Samsung, SK Hynix, and SanDisk. And those 3 have fueled the performance. So you can see the results are just insane. When I scroll up here, we have everything plugged in, and the best performer is LYTE, Lumentum. This one is up 975% just in the last 12 months. And if we go to year to date, it's still very, very impressive. These have just all taken off. But LYTE has been the best performer. I imagine LYTE will be in LYTE, of course. You can also see some great performances. These ones look so much worse in comparison to LYTE, but they're phenomenal. COHR is up 361%, Marvell 300%, Laser 280, GLW 250. The worst performer on here is Broadcom, which they may not even include, and it's still up 49%. So all of these have had insane runs. And remember, DRAM was the same. DRAM, they had multiple runners that were up 3,000% in the last year. So if we look in correspondence, these could have a lot more to run. I am not saying to buy these holdings. I am not. I am saying if it follows track with DRAM, maybe they jumped into photonics early because of how DRAM's performance has been. And if photonics truly are the next bottleneck for AI and for all of these AI data centers, this will be very interesting to watch. Now, one thing that I'm not going to do is tell you that these are easy buys. Some of these are already up substantially, and there is risk with the performance that we've seen. There just is. That's why you have to decide for yourself, is this ETF for me? Do I like these holdings for long-term plays, short-term plays, whatever your thesis is on this portion of the AI bottleneck, that's how you're going to play it out. You don't need to listen to YouTubers, TikTokers, people with large followings, because we all have the same information. Now, what's important to understand is what you're looking to get out of these companies. I am a long-term buy and hold investor. I have DRAM. I'm okay with the volatility. DRAM does not make up a significant portion of my portfolio, and neither will LYTE. Although, if it does have some of these holdings, I probably will buy some just because it's the risky portion of my portfolio. But again, there is a lot of risk. I've seen people that throw all of their money into plays like this and they absolutely tank. The bottleneck slows down, AI slows down substantially, something happens in the world that everyone all of a sudden is focused on something else, and AI takes the back seat. We could see that. We could easily see that happen. So you have to understand your own risk tolerance with these. Now, if you're watching this video, you're likely a riskier investor like myself. You're the guys that like SPMO and DRAM and UFO instead of just holding the S&P or the NASDAQ outright, which I hold all of the ones I just mentioned. So understand that. We don't know how this is going to perform. I do think there is potential for a lot of these names to run like crazy, and maybe I'll do a little portfolio built on a lot of these. If that's something that you would be interested in watching, let me know down in the comments. And again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, subscribe, and hype it. It helps me a ton. I can't even mention how much. And if you want to join a community of dedicated investors, check out that circle group link down below with the 7-day free trial. Again, you don't pay a thing until 7 days in. So as always, I appreciate you guys. Keep subscribing. You're helping me grow the channel, and I absolutely appreciate it. And I hope to see you in the next video.